So I've been a nurse for just about 7 years, and for me, I would say one of the most saddest moments. I remember one of the nurses had gone on break, so I was supporting her and her patients while she went on break, and there was this gentleman who was end of life, and he had, his non-invasive CPAP breathing machine to support him. And he always would just sit at the edge of the bed, and he looked very lonely. When you get in there and, give him the care, check if he's okay, he would always say, "Oh, don't leave me. Please don't leave me." And in this situation, sometimes you really want to stay, but then when you're on the floor with, your own patient and the nurse's patient who's on break to look after, it's kind of a hard conversation to have with these patients, and sometimes it is hard. And I remember just reassuring him, supporting him what he needed, and, coming in just to see how he was. And I was a bit concerned because I was like, this gentleman is dying. There's no one visiting him. Does his family even know he's here? And I remember speaking to the nurse in charge, and I said, this man is just sitting at the edge of this bed. He looks very, very nervous. He looks very unwell. I know he's end of life at the moment. Has any family come to see him? Has any family come to support him? And I remember the nurse looking at me saying that, he did have a family, and they actually is quite local, but no one had come to see him, and nobody wanted to come and see him. And it just made me feel like, what could happen in those years before he came to hospital? What did his relationship look like with his children, his loved ones, that in the point where he needs them the most, or he's at death's door, they don't want to come and see him. It was sad because throughout the whole shift, that even though I wasn't his nurse, every time he would see me pass his room, he would say, "Please don't leave me, don't leave me." And then it was that constant reassurance I was giving to him. And unfortunately, when I came back the next day, they had told me that he had passed away. And it just made me realize death can be really lonely, and it must be really scary, especially when you have no one to say your final goodbyes to. And that's just to say that families are so important. Build your relationships with your family, nurture that relationship, because when you're at death's door, for me anyway, it would be nice to say goodbye to the world with and surrounded by people that I love very much and that love me.